Well, look who it is. It's your girl, Heyaaa. Did you even remember I had a YouTube channel? Because I think I forgot. Hello, nice to meet you. Welcome back to my channel. I know, it's been forever. I know, I'm sorry. But you know what, it's okay, you'll forgive me because today I'm gonna show you how I do my foundation slash base routine and how I catfish all of y'all into thinking I have flawless skin. Jokes, JK, just kidding. Anyway, so you guys have requested me to show you how I do like my makeup in depth on YouTube, so I decided what better way to start that by showing you how to do the basics, by showing you how to do the base. This is why I don't do YouTube, you guys. Like, this is always a struggle for me, but I'm learning, don't worry, I'm learning. All right, you guys are pretty much all up in my business now, so let's get started, shall we? Move the hair back, baby. I'm just gonna straight up say I'm sorry if you guys hear any background noise. Like, I try, you know, it's not my, I can't do anything about it. Also, I am not a makeup artist, okay? I am not a makeup artist. I am a completely self-taught gal. Everything I know about makeup is basically things that I've learned through YouTube or Instagram, and also through trial and error of putting makeup on myself and figuring out what works and what doesn't work for me. So whatever you guys are gonna see today is all me, baby. All right. Okay, so we're gonna start off by prepping our face, and if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys already know that this is my OG face prep what is this called? Product. This is one of my favorite things ever to prime my face with. This is the e.l.f. foundation serum. It's in the shade Fair, and what this does is it actually just preps the skin and makes like the texture of your skin ready to handle foundation and concealer on top. And it also brightens up the skin, so that's a bonus. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take just a little bit of that, so a little pump here, a little pump here, a little bit on the nose because my nose is very dry and bumpy. And I like to have some on the sides over here as well. Basically all over the face, LOL. Then you can use a brush to go ahead and rub this in, but because I am me, I use my hands. But you know, you have to make sure your hands are clean so you don't break out, so hold on. I'm disinfecting my hands. Yes, I'm weird like that. I disinfect using a hand sanitizer spray. So hands are sanitized and clean and ready to touch the face. So we're just gonna use our hands to rub this product into the skin and make sure that it's evenly spread out. So I have a lot of creasing that happens usually under my eye and usually on the sides of my face. I really try to focus the product on these areas like very, very well. Already I can feel that my skin's texture is a lot more manageable for product on top. I like to look up when I apply it under my eyes, so I make sure that it's being applied all over, even in the crease areas. Okay, y'all, so foundation serum, check. The next thing, if you want, you could just leave it here as it is, but if I feel like I'm going to be going out for a very, very long period of time and I need my makeup to really stay put, I go ahead and I apply my primer on top of the foundation serum to prep it even more. You don't need to do this. It's only if you're having like a hardcore day. And the primer that I use is the Poreless Putty Primer by e.l.f. I know, I love e.l.f., all right? I know. So I'm gonna take a little bit, and I don't apply this all over the face. The only areas that I really tend to focus this product on is the sides of my mouth over here, because that's where my smile lines are, and also right underneath the eyes over here, because that's where I crease the most. So these are my crease areas. Of course, everybody's face is different, so you apply this wherever you crease the most. And when I'm putting this underneath my eyes, again, I like to look up to make sure the product is being applied properly. A lot of you guys also for some reason really like my British accent. To be honest, I don't even know how to do the British accent. I'm pretty sure there's like a bajillion different dialects of even the British accent, so I don't even know what I'm doing, to be honest, but I just go with it. Whatever comes out of my mouth, I'm just rolling with it, you know? So at this point, my skin is officially prepped. As you can see, I do have some red spots and acne scars on my face from previous pimples and whatnot, and also because I tend to pick on my face a little bit. That's a really bad habit and you shouldn't do it. Sometimes I give into this and I end up touching my face. Don't do it. Point is, I have some scars that I need to cover up, so how do I do that? I have this palette that I use here. This is the Master Camouflage Concealer Palette by Maybelline. It's in light, and basically what it has is, it has all the color correcting shades that I need to apply before I go in with my foundation, so that, you know, my dark circles and all the redness and everything is properly concealed, and, you know, I don't have to worry about it popping through my foundation. I use a brush like this, a nice little flat concealer brush, and I'm gonna go in with this green, minty green shade. I'm gonna pick some up on my brush and basically apply this anywhere where I feel there is redness. So you see all of these red scars, I would basically very lightly put this on top of these red scars. I do not do this every single day. Like, this is what I'm showing you today is full coverage, but on a regular day where I'm just wearing foundation on a regular basis, I don't go ahead and do all of this color correcting. I just put on my foundation and concealer because honestly, I'm lazy and I feel like it's unnecessary for me to cover up my face all the time. Like, it's kind of like wearing a mask, and we already wear enough of those every day, everywhere, so no thank you. Once I've covered up all my red spots with the minty green, I am now going to focus on my dark spots. So any area of my skin that is darker, like my dark circles or any hyperpigmentation that I have around my mouth over here, and I want to cover that up completely, I am going to now go in with this peach shade right underneath the mint green. And what this does is it actually cancels out the dark circles. And then when you put your concealer on top, it doesn't have this weird gray cast that a lot of people tend to complain about before if they don't color correct. So I'm gonna go ahead and first of all apply this onto the sides of my mouth over here. So here, I'm actually gonna apply a little bit over here and some over here. I'm not applying too much because I don't want to have a cakey face, so I'm just applying little product and we'll just end up blending and spreading this out properly. Now I'm just going to use this brush to go ahead and blend everything out. So I'm just gonna let all the areas that I just color corrected set on its own for the time being, and I'm gonna use my ring finger to lightly tap and blend this light green shade out very, very slightly. I'm not gonna over blend it because then that defeats the purpose. Now it is time for concealer. So I'm gonna show you two full coverage concealers. The first one is this LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Light Ivory, and the second one is this one by BH Cosmetics. It is the Total Coverage Concealer, and it's in the shade, it's in number 104. So these two are very similar in formula, and they basically leave a very, like, they are both full coverage and they leave a very brightening effect on your face. So if you want to lift your face up, I would go for these concealers for sure. I am going to go ahead and use the BH Cosmetics Total Coverage Concealer. So boom, 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 this is what it looked like. Using that same brush that I used for my color correcting, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that, like so. And keep in mind that you don't need a lot of concealer. In fact, if you use more concealer, chances are that you will experience creasing underneath your eyes. So in this case, less is more. Boom, boom, and boom. I feel like that's all we really need, and I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side. Now you can use a brush, or you could use your fingers, or you could use a sponge, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm gonna go ahead and use a sponge. The sponge that I'm using today is this one by e.l.f. Cosmetics. This one I really like because if you look at it up close, it has this texture over here and it actually helps with very nice smooth application. So we're just dampening that. So as you can see, I am dabbing it with my sponge and I'm not applying too much pressure. I'm very lightly doing this. So now I'm gonna set under my eyes using this brush over here. It's pretty fluffy, it's quite dense, and it's very soft. So it just holds on to the powder and you just lightly dab and press it on. So here's how I do it. I'm going to dab it on one more time to get rid of any creasing that there might be. And I'm gonna grab my brush that's loaded with the translucent powder, and I'm going to just immediately apply some right on the area. This way, your eyes won't crease. And the way that I do it is I take a little bit, I don't take too much, and I basically concentrate it on the areas that I really, really wanna set. I press it down, and then I gently push it out, just like this. So press the powder in, and then blend it out like that. And your under eye is now officially set. This is the translucent powder that I use. This is the Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in Fair Light. Concealer done, color correcting done, setting done, time for the foundation. The foundation that I'll be using today is this one by Maybelline. It's in the shade 230 Natural Buff, and this is the Hydrate and Smooth formula for normal to dry skin. I'm gonna shake that up real good. I like to take the end of my brush. This is the same concealer brush that I used earlier, and I'm just gonna make sure it's clean. Wipe that down. And then using this, I'm just gonna go into the cap and dab a little bit of that and apply this wherever I want foundation. So small little dot. I don't like applying a lot of foundation because I'm not a fan of having too much stuff on my face. So I'm just gonna try to keep it as light as I possibly can, but it will still get the job done with all the coverage. So basically the amount of foundation I used was actually whatever I could grab from this cap. I did not grab any extra foundation. If you need to, you can add on to it later, but this is how I'm starting off. So depending on what your preferences are, you could go ahead and blend this foundation out with a makeup sponge, or you could use a brush. If you're using a makeup sponge, you could go ahead and use the same one that I used for my concealer, or you could go ahead and use a brush like this one. This is what I like to use. It is a nice flat brush like so, and it is quite dense and soft, so it actually does get the foundation blended quite nicely. So just to show you guys the difference between the two of them, I'm going to do half of my face with the sponge and half of my face with the brush. So let's do this half with the brush. So what I like to do is dab it like that and spread out the foundation like so. And then I like to lightly just dab. And I'm dabbing it a little bit outward, so very lightly applying pressure to push the product into the skin, but at the same time pushing it out so that it blends as well. So just like this. So I'm done blending this half of the face with my brush. The other half, I'm gonna go ahead and do it with my handy dandy sponge. And I'm gonna be using this big side so that we can get larger surface area done in a quicker amount of time. Dab, 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 dab. So we're just pressing it down like so. Don't beat your face up, just very lightly. Don't apply too much pressure and just tap the product into your skin. As you guys can see, that small amount of foundation actually did end up covering up all the color correcting that we did underneath. So that just shows that you don't need a lot of product to get the job done. A little does go a long way, and in order to prevent cakiness, you should use small amounts of product. And you know, you can always build it up later on, but start off small and then build it up according to how much you need. Because I do crease around my mouth area, I'm actually gonna go in with my translucent powder and set my smile lines as well. Now, I have very dry skin, so I don't really set my entire face with powder because then my face just feels extremely, extremely dry. So I'm actually going to leave the rest of my face just as it is with the foundation on top. And so basically the only areas that I set with powder are underneath my eyes and on the sides of my face. Now, if you do have very oily skin, I would recommend going in with a powder compact and then setting your face with that. I'm actually going in with this concealer stick over here. This one is by e.l.f. and this one is in the shade dark/deep. So I actually use this concealer stick to apply my contour. So how I like to contour is I like to go from my temples here, and I like to feel my face. So I know for a fact that this is where the depth of my face is. Like, you can even see it with the shadow right there. And I like to apply this right on those areas, like so. Boom. You could blend this out using the sponge. You could blend this out using your hands. Most of the times, for some reason, I like using my hands for this. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'll show you how to do it with a sponge on the other side. So how I'm blending this is actually using my ring finger. I'm trying to use this flat area of my finger to just gently blend it out. I started off with not so much, and you can always build that up later. So I'm just using a little bit more and adding on to the darkness, like so. Boom, boom, boom. As I'm approaching this area where I did color conceal, I'm gonna try not to rub, and I'm gonna try to dab it in a little bit, like so. And this side, I'm going to use the sponge. So I'm using that sponge to blend it out. Again, not rubbing, mostly dabbing motions. Basically, I'm gonna do this everywhere that I contour. So sometimes I also contour my forehead. I don't put too much, just little lines here and there, like so. I also like to contour my nose. Sometimes, I don't do this all the time, but if you're a fan of contouring your nose, you go ahead and use the same stick and apply small amounts on your nose. I literally go with the smallest amount of product on my nose area, like this. And then I'm also gonna go in here on my jawline. So I'm just gonna go blend my face and then show you how I do my nose. Let's get down to business. One more shot, something, something, something. For my nose, I actually like to use my fingers again. Of course, you can use a brush for this, but I just like using my fingers because I feel like I have more control, and I go in a downwards motion. So going down slightly, don't press too hard, very lightly with your finger, just work downwards. Remember this brush that we used for our concealer? We're gonna use whatever is remaining on this brush and apply this on to our bridge over here so that we highlight the bridge of the nose. You don't want extra product, we're only using what is left over, like so. And then using that to blend it out, I'm gonna go ahead and use my fingers and seamlessly blend everything together. And I'm done with my nose. So even though my skin is dry, it is time to set all of this cream contour with a powder. To contour, I'm going in with this Maybelline contour kit in deep or medium to deep. This has a highlight, a blush, and a contour shade. So I'm going to be using this contour shade to go on top of wherever I applied that cream concealer. I'm going to be using this angled contour brush. It is very soft and very easy to apply. So just grabbing a little bit and then dab, dab, dab. We're gonna start off from our temples and work our way towards our nose. So just dabbing it on first of all. So we're gonna dab, 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 dab the product. So this is me technically setting that cream shade, and then we'll work on blending it out in a little bit. When you're actually tapping on your skin, you can actually feel that your makeup is being set, because you'll feel a difference in how much your brush is sliding. And when you feel like you have set your cream product underneath a considerable amount, you can now start to brush it forward. So let me show you. So now I can bring it forward like this without compromising coverage. Dab, dab, swipe, 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 swipe. With whatever is remaining on your brush, I like to go in and apply this on top where I applied my contour on my forehead and bring it in towards the center. So like this. I'm not gonna go crazy here because I don't want my entire face to be like contour, contour. So we're just keeping it really nice and lighthearted. For the jawline, you don't want to contour on top over here. You actually want to contour underneath over here. So like this. Boom. And then bring it up on the side. And then you can also connect your contour from your cheek to your jawline in this area over here. Now with a clean, fluffy brush, like for instance, this tapered brush over here, I'm actually gonna go and grab that same contour shade, but in very small amounts, and I'm gonna slowly contour my nose and set that with that. I'm working downwards and outwards over here, so down and out. It is time for some blush. So you can use whatever blush you want. You can even go ahead and use the same blush that was in this trio, but I am going to go in with one of my favorite blushes. That is this one by e.l.f. This one is in the shade Always Breezy. So it is a primer infused shimmer blush. So why I like this so much is I feel like I don't really need to add highlight to my cheeks after using this blush because it has a glow and glitter in it. So once I apply it, there is already a shine to it, unless of course you want to really glow out there. Then you can go ahead and apply highlighter on top, but I never really found the need to do that. So using that same contour brush, I'm going to go ahead and dab a little bit into this blush and then tap off all of that excess product. This is very pigmented, so you do want to layer it on carefully and slowly. So I'm gonna again start off, this time I'm not gonna start all the way from my temple. I'm gonna start off here and work my way out. So tap, 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 and then bring it out. And it just adds a nice pink, shiny glow to the cheeks. Very, very, very subtle. Gradually bringing it towards this area over here. And then we can swipe it like so. I actually like to go in with a clean brush like this one over here. This is a nice little fluffy brush. There is nothing really on it. There's no product on here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply and blend out my blush using this brush so that everything blends out better and nothing is like too harsh. So this is for that nice seamless blend. Blend, 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 blend. I'm going in with nice circular motions and swiping motions. With that same contour brush, like this is just a personal preference, but I really like to apply blush on my nose. So I'm gonna just take a little bit and apply this on the very tip of my nose and then blend it out like so, ever so slightly. Boom. And then using that tapered brush that I use for the contour, I'm gonna go ahead and start highlighting the areas of my face that I want highlighted. So using that same trio that we had earlier, I'm gonna go in with the highlight shade at the very end and grabbing a little bit. We're going to be applying this right onto the tip of the nose, which is here. Boom, 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 boom. As well as the bridge, which is here. If you want, you could apply this here just to show you I'm doing this, but I don't need to because of my shimmer blush. So this is how I do my full coverage foundation. Of course, like I said, I don't do this every single day. Usually I just conceal wherever I have spots and that's good enough for me. But if I'm going full coverage, this is what I do. And this entire look looks great in natural lighting as well. I will probably leave a clip of that on the side somewhere over here so you can see how it looks in the sun. So this is pretty much how I go about my full coverage foundation routine. I've shown you a couple of techniques. Hopefully some of this is new to you and you learned something from it. If not, you know what, I hope it was entertaining anyway. Thank you so much for watching this video, especially if you stuck by till the very end. Special shout out to you. Mwah. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you learned something new from this, or if you would like to see similar videos in the future, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Boom! That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Boom! One more time. Boom! Also, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you do want to see more videos in the future from yours truly, don't forget to click that bell notification so you know exactly when I drop more videos. I will try to be more consistent, I promise. I'm trying. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care, be safe, love ya. Mwah.